Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance for the Nintendo GameCube. Today, we're going to be heading into Chapter 3, Pirates Aground, which really, I think it should be called Pirates Ashore. Aground just seems like the kind of term you would use for ashore if English wasn't your first language, you know? You can very much tell that name had a very Japanese influence on it, and they didn't bother, like, Americanizing it in any way, I guess, but whatever. Uh, oh boy. Yeah, we haven't seen Grail in a while. Oh, Jesus, we're in trouble now. But hey, at least Ike's the kind of person who takes responsibility for his actions. Like, he's not gonna sit there and, like, oh. Um, well, you guys are all selfless, huh? Like, I was actually watching fucking Fruits Basket the other day, the 2019 reboot. And like something I learned out of that, yeah, a message from an anime of all things, is that sometimes it's okay to be selfish every once in a while. And I can't help but think of that whenever this situation comes to mind. Only 10 days. Damn. That's not a strict enough punishment, I would think. Like, I would have demoted him or something, or sent him back to training. I don't know. But, hey, he has a lot of faith in Ike, I guess, so... Or, oh, okay. What's going on here? Oh, okay, so we're going with a completely different group this time around. Oscar and Boyd isn't going to quite be with us for the next few chapters, so we'll have to get used to the other units we have on board with us for a little while. Oh man, they did not need to zoom in on that. They just had to remind you just of how painfully dated the visuals are. At least from this game's perspective. I mean, I did just come off of Metroid Prime, and despite that game predating this one by 3 years, it's like that game still holds up amazingly well. And then you look at the character models on map outside of the animations, and it's just like, ew. I'm sorry. I promise. I promise. I'll stop trying to trash on the graphics so much. Sometimes presentation can very much be important. Because the presentation can, in its own sort of way, tell a story that not, just dialogue can do for you. That's why people like Final Fantasy VII so much. For its time anyway, because like nowadays the game looks dated, but then back then, like, you saw the cutscenes and the CGI and how it was presented, and like the story was really odd on paper, but the way it was presented, it made all the more difference. Why am I giving lessons on narrative storytelling in a fucking Fire Emblem Let's Play? um, So, anywho, we're here in this port town to take care of some pirates. Because pirates are bad, and they're ugly and toothless, and they need to be taken care of. Which, you know what, I guess that actually does kind of give us more incentive to wipe them out, because pirates are actually pretty fucking bad. In terms of, like, having to deal with them compared to, like, say, just an ordinary bandit who's just trying to make his way through life, I guess. Alright, so now that we've made it to this point, we have access to the preparation screen. We don't have every feature available yet. That's not going to happen until, I want to say, Chapter 8. So here we can move our items around. I'm actually... Okay, so we don't have access to the convoy just yet. So I'm going to actually give this iron axe over to Boyd. So that way Ike has more space in his inventory. And, ooh, okay. Everyone comes pretty well equipped, I'd say. So, yeah, as I've stated previously, Oscar, Boyd, and Rice are absent in this map. So we'll be making use out of some more powerful units in this chapter. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Starting with Gatry. Gatry here is our knight unit, the starting knight unit of the game, and out of all three of them, I'd say he's probably the best one, assuming you take the time to, like, you know, invest in him anyway. So his growths are pretty well-rounded, I'd say, with an 80% in HP, which is a little bit more than the average 75% you see in most other units, 55% in strength, 55% in skill, 25% in speed, which is going to be a problem, 25% in luck, and 60% in defense. So this guy is going to be your big tank. So I'd like to say that his bases in strength and defense are pretty good in this point in the game. His skill and speed are going to be a problem, however, for two reasons. So his growth in skill isn't too bad. 55% definitely means that, you know, he can, you know, improve that over time. The 25% in speed, however, with his base being at 5, it's going to be a ginormous problem. Especially considering the fact that, I'm just going to go ahead and say it now, Gatry is going to be disappearing after Chapter 7, and you won't be seeing him again until Chapter 13. And he's going to be stuck with the stats that he had when you last left off with him, which is a problem, I'd say, because then if your speed hasn't leveled up since then, and you're coming into Chapter 13 with only 5 speed, when everybody else is like over 10 at that point, yeah, and his growth doesn't really help in that retrospect. On top of that, once you hit the midpoint and late game, the maps in Path of Radiance just end up getting a lot more, you know, expansive compared to the ones we're seeing now, unfortunately. I mean, you can make good use out of a knight if you want to, but I just don't think they're appropriately designed with Path of Radiance, its maps and design, because a lot of, like, the combat in this game takes place on enemy phase. You have to bait a lot of enemies in this game as opposed to engaging with them for them to, like, you know, initiate and, you know, start combat, you know? And with Gatry's movement being at 5, which granted is a little better than most other Fire Emblem games are concerned, like, cause, and I think in Binding Blade, for example, like, knights only have a movement of 4, I believe, and that is bad considering how huge Binding Blade's maps are. So I never bothered using the knights in Binding Blade for that reason. But 5 is still not great, however. But he does have one saving grace in all of this, and that is the fact that he starts off at level 9. What this means is that whenever you get his promotional item, I think it's the Master Seal in this game, I can't remember. Once he reaches Chapter 10, you do have the option of promoting him early, or at the very least, as soon as you run into him in Chapter 13. So he can play catch-up in that way, or you can, like, dump bonus experience on him, or level him up before he hits 20. Because in this game, if a unit automatically hits past level 20, they do promote. You don't have to give them an item to promote, unless you want to do it early. But Gatry, if you really want to make use out of him in the long run, I would definitely recommend promoting him early, considering his availability issues. Otherwise, like, he's alright. I mean, He's a good tank. If you really need a tank unit, I mean, Gatry's your guy. I just think Cavaliers are so busted in the sense that they can just run away. You know, they can play a hit and run strategy that, like, I just don't think they're entirely necessary in this kind of game, you know? Cavaliers are just that busted. So, let's go ahead and head over to Shinen. Shinen is a pre-promote, and he starts off with pretty good basis for this point in the game. He starts, with a 9 in strength, 15% in skill, speed, and 13, meaning he's going to land crits very, very easily. And in fact, unless you're playing this game on, like, Maniac mode, I actually don't really recommend trying to, like, use Shinen to, like, whittle down enemies for the most part. I would actually try to use them as a kind of tank or a meat shield at this point, because, again, like Gatry, he disappears after Chapter 7, I believe, and in his case, he doesn't actually show up again until Chapter 18. So let's go ahead and go into the growth rates first. He has a 65% in strength, which is, amazing for an archer. I wasn't expecting that. 70% in skill, 65% in speed, 50% in defense. What the fuck? And 40% in resistance. Wow. Huh. That's not bad. That's really, really good. But of course, him being a pre-promote means, like, he's not going to be able to gain level ups easily until you hit Chapter 18 and, you know, you have him fight more powerful enemies. The problem is going to be his strength in particular once you hit that point in the game, because you're probably not going to even be able to level up Shinen by the time he leaves the band, and him having a base of 9 by Chapter 18 is not good, and you really have to hope his growth rates kick in, because, like, these bases are good now, but once we hit Chapter 18, Shinen's gonna have trouble catching up by that point in the game. But, like, if you really need an archer, if you absolutely need an archer in this game, I mean, I would use Shinen over everybody else. Or, no, not quite true. I would use him over, like, you know, the foot archer, the other foot archer you get. But, like, there's another archer you get in Chapter 13 who also happens to be a cavalier. And if you take the time to actually invest in her, she ends up being the better archer just from the virtue of the fact that she's a cavalier. But, archers I just don't think are worth it in Path of Radiance, you know? Because archers don't have the same benefits of bonus damage that they do in other games. So, like, if you were to use archers against flying units, for example, in every other game you would do 3 times the amount of damage, and that would be awesome, right? Snipers only do twice the amount of damage in this game, and on top of that, they can't shoot through walls! What? Meaning, like, any opportunity they have to actually camp is pretty much gone. And, you know, having to deal with their traditional weaknesses of, you know, not being able to retaliate at one range, I just don't think archers are worth it outside of the one cavalier we get, because she can just, you know, play the hit and run strategy, and that's all well said and done. So, yeah. Shinen's okay for the early game if you're having trouble, and definitely a necessity in Maniac mode. But once you run into him in Chapter 18 and onwards, and if you've already spent time, you know, raising the Cavalier Archer, Shinen just doesn't have much worth after that, so, yeah. Anywho, I've been talking for a while now. We're 15 minutes into the video, and we haven't even started the map yet, but I guess that's not too big of a problem, I'd say, because this map isn't particularly very difficult, or even big for that matter. I'd actually argue this map's easier than the previous two, and that's because like these guys come in pretty well equipped. So with that being said, I'm gonna take. Well, you know what? This might actually be all right. So let's go ahead and start our fight. All right, so we're gonna have to keep Gatry out of the range of these guys here. And taking damage from the bow unit isn't gonna be too much of a biggie, so I'm actually gonna stick him right here, so that way he's out of range of these two dudes. And yeah, we'll see where to go from here. Wait. Okay, I thought there was something wrong with my footage for a second. Oh man, you never know with these composite capture devices, you know. Yeah, let's see what Ike does to this dude here. Let's see if well, you know what? I guess it's worth the risk. I'd say it's worth the risk. I'm mostly gonna have Gatry and Ike, you know, put into work here while Shinan and Titania act as backup in this chapter. Ooh, we got a sword level up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hopefully, with the amount of leveling up I've been doing with Ike, we can get him out of his shaky bases and have him be a force to be reckoned with, at least to some degree, before we get him promoted. Him having 10 speed right now is pretty damn good, though. His strength isn't really pulling through as much as I thought, but like the speed is at least letting him double most of these enemies, which is fine by me. So I actually kind of want to. Might have not been the best play, actually. Alright. Meat shield time. Let's go. I'm gonna put the Iron Axe on her so that way. Okay. At the very least, I don't have the sword unit going after him, so I'll take that. And Ike's speed will probably let him dodge tank most of these encounters. Yeah, I'm okay with Shinan taking a few hits because like his bases are so good right now that this isn't anything to worry about. Oh wow, they're going after Shinan even though they can't do anything to him. What the heck is this? That don't make no sense. Ah, but alas, you have fallen into my trap. Who actually holds a sword like that? That's another complaint I have with the animations, is that like I swear they hold their swords and weapons in such a weird way sometimes. I can't imagine how much stress that has to put on their arms for doing so. Like why would they do that? What kind of sense does that make? This is quite troublesome indeed. Probably just gonna have to stick right here for right now until we wipe them all out. Don't want to get too greedy, however. So, you know what? I should have. You know what? Let's take that gamble. I'll take you guys up on that. He moves slowly and intimidatingly, but like then he just picks up his spear and nonchalantly chucks it into his enemy. And it's like, was that supposed to hurt? That's like me trying to take my key and put it into a lock of something. Like that doesn't require that much force, and that's the kind of like analogy I get from that for some reason. I don't know. I'm a retard sometimes. You know what? Let's see. Hopefully he won't quit. Quit. Yeah, that's right. I'm quitting this let's play right now. Goodbye, everybody. With the way Ike is, like, yeah, he'll only take damage from like 2 different enemies. Well, no. I might leave her right here for right now. I'd say. I don't let Ike in the crossfire of any other enemy encounters, because if I move Titania away from that position, that would leave him vulnerable to more enemy onslaught. I mean, we'd want that now, would we? Yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to stop using Shinen as a meat shield and, start doing something about it. And, okay, he went to Ika's plan. Ooh, but he took some damage from that this time. I might actually hand the Seraph Robe over to Ike, so that way he can actually, like, put on some more damage. I'll probably just have Titania trade with him in just an instant. Spending a lot of this fight on the enemy phase, that's for sure. Yeah, that's right, Myrmidons. You have, like, absolutely no privilege whatsoever. Alright, let's see if I can be lucky enough to not land a crit here. Okay, good. Good. Feed those kills to Ike, my slaves. But yeah, honest, like seriously though, who the heck holds their sword like that? Like, what did something like that give you, arthritis or something? Like, I know, like, the whole big strength trait of Ike here is supposed to be that, like, he can hold the Ragnell, a 2-handed sword with, like, 1 hand, but, like, that's just a regular iron sword. Why is he holding it like that? Why is he holding it above him? It leaves him vulnerable. Like, I'm not a fucking, like, fencer or whatever, but I can tell you right now that kind of position just doesn't leave yourself any favors in terms of, like, strategy or whatever. What the hell kind of sense does that make, you know? And yeah, I guess I don't really have much choice other than to, like, have Titania take care of this archer. I don't know how much damage he would have done, but, like, I don't want to stick around waiting to find out. So we're gonna have Titania visit this house here. Ooh. Maybe leaving, or, no, okay, he's got the Iron Lance, never mind. They still don't do a lot of damage to him, though. Oh! And I guess Gatry happens to double these guys. Their speed really must suck them. Holy crap. I might actually think about, like, putting a Steel Lance on them for that reason alone, then. And oh boy. Gonna have to remember that face for later. That's foreshadowing. Very, very subtle foreshadowing. I like that. You wouldn't think much of this encounter at all, but he actually ends up being kind of important. I like things like that. I like how they don't shove it in your face where it's like, oh, this guy's gonna be super ridiculously important later on, and he doesn't make like, you know, certain sudden statements that kind of imply that like something's gonna happen or whatever. He's just out for a stroll, and he looks a little out of the ordinary, and that's all you need to know at this given time. And then like you replay the game again, and then you remember his face, and you're like, wow, I met him that early on? Oh, man. That's how you introduce a character. A mysterious character, guys. Take notes. Alright. Getting a lot of speed level ups. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Because like last time I played this game, like Ike was sitting at a speed of 10 and fucking chapter 12. I'm actually getting kind of RNG blessed for once. I'll take it. I'll take it. My Ike might end up panning out a little bit better for the mid game this time around. We'll have to see. I just hope we can like get his strength to work by then. Let's put him a little closer here. Why not? The place didn't even look like it went through him for a second. I don't know. Oh, we got a vulnerary out of that. Nice. Okay. Might put him right here for a second, and then I'm gonna have Ike take this spot here, and actually take this vulnerary from him, and go ahead and use it right here. Sweet, 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 sweet. I'm gonna have to give that Seraph robe to him soon. Oh boy, what do we got here? I love how these guys are so stereotypically piratey that they just say like the kind of things you'd expect like a fucking cartoon pirate to say. I don't know. I think this is like one of those points in the script where the localizers just had a little too much fun writing these pirates. Yah ho! Like they're doing these fucked up things to like her brother, and they're just fucking along for the ride, just going, oh ho, yar, we're bad, we're pirates. By Shakti Pete. Oh man, I'm getting a laugh out of this for some reason. Well, of course, she's at a weapon triangle disadvantage here. And then she's like, oh, I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind, and then she just flies off to the back of the boat. Okay, whatever. So it is very imperative that you save this unit. Luckily for us, she has a lot of speed, so she's gonna be tanking a lot of these encounters here. But we want to help her if we want good fortune to come our way within the next few chapters. So gonna have Ike come over here and get rid of this ruffian. Oh god, now I'm talking like a pirate. I kind of went in there all guns blazing and all, so maybe that wasn't the smartest idea, but you know what? I'm pretty sure I can just dodge tank these two dudes. It's not gonna be too much of a problem, I'd say. So, oh hey there, Baloo, my favorite doggo. What are you doing up here? Have you come to give me licks and kisses? Oh, You're so adorable. If you haven't watched my previous playthroughs yet, then you should probably know that I own 2 dogs, one of which is a Great Dane, and I love him very much. He's adorable. He's cute, and he's my precious. Oh yeah, these guys have hand axes. Throw him like a fucking boomerang too. Goddamn. So yeah, hand axes and javelins are a form of spears and axes, respectively, that you can use to two-range opponents. However, I did mention that a disadvantage of being a sword user in this game is that the fact that a lot of enemy encounters take place on enemy phase, and most sword weapons, almost all of them for that matter, don't really have the ability to two-range. And considering the fact that Ike is a footed unit, that puts them at a pretty big disadvantage, if I do say so myself. So, oh. Sure, why not? I was actually trying to attack this unit. I didn't even pay attention to, like, my entire menu here. Oh man, Ike's flustered about this whole thing. Oh, I can still attack. Never mind. Get out of my sight. But the benefit of having a hand axe and javelin on hand is that you can still retaliate even up close. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. Can I? Oh, okay. You know what? Let's take that gamble. Let's see if we can double this unit with a steel lance. My skill may not be amazing, but with a shot, right? We do have double number RNG on our side, I guess. So, oh, and looks like Gatry's about to level up. Sweet. I have to remember to hold on to that steel lance or hand axe for later. All right, you. Be a darling and be a meat shield for me, please. Wait, how far do these guys go? Okay. Yeah, let's put them right here. I might as well go ahead and pop in a boulder array just to be safe, because I think that axe unit's going to end up going after him. Unless I do this. Not the best map to be using Gatry on, considering all the axe units we've got to deal with, but I guess their bases are so low that it doesn't even really matter, I guess. Oh, well, that's not a smart idea. Using your hand axe against an iron boat. Man, oh crap. I didn't want that, but whatever. Alright, so see if we can't put on a little bit of chip damage here. Hopefully not crit. Oh, come on, really? Damn it, dude. I didn't want him to crit. Frick. Bah. Oh, you know what? Let's give Gatry this kill. Not quite the level up you needed. Alright. there's the boss. Force of arms then. Oh boy. Oh, well, he doesn't hit as hard as I thought. But, I'd prefer not to get hit by that again. Oh boy. Oh, crap. Yikes. See if I can't whittle him down just a little bit. Boy, that's kind of scary. Let's actually have her weaken this unit a little bit. Okay, nice. I would have loved to have given the kill to Gatry here, but looks like we're just gonna have to do this and play it safe. Oh man. Alright. So what's going on here? Do I really? I wouldn't want to risk it. Oh, okay. Well, that's perfect, actually. I guess they really did intend for us to use Titania to weaken them. What the hell? That was like perfect math and everything. just 1 point short of a level up. Okay. So that Fate Band's going to be pretty awesome. I'll hold on to that for a bit until we run into Chapter 10. Oh man, this video took longer than I thought. It's just going to get much longer from here. We're all young adults here, thank you very much. I mean, I think Ike's like the only one who's like underage here, and even then he's like 17. The Royal Army, I'd say. Oh boy. That's foreshadowing. Okay. Well, of course. Yeah, for real. I'd like to bet, like, these Axe units couldn't even really leave much of a dent in them. That's a weird way to spell out joking, I guess. Yeah, that was kind of a boring chapter, I won't lie. Oh man. You and me both. I can relate to that. They're just looking for better leads in life. Nothing wrong with that. Oh boy, somebody's hiding something. mean, I don't know. What she said wasn't wasn't completely wrong, you know. I'm so hungry I could eat a insert Octorok here. Hmm? Okay. Well, I mean, he did kind of grow up with it his whole life, I'd assume, so. Okay. Alright. That's a lot more than I was expecting, considering we spent like half the chapter in the starting location, but whatever. I'll make do with that, I guess. So, next time on Let's Play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, we're going to be tackling Chapter 4, so see you guys then.